Hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar and today we're gonna be talking about some major changes which will come to Heroes of the Storm. Basically what Blizzard did with this blog post is kinda outline their thoughts, what they wanna do with Heroes of the Storm, and they're trying to improve a whole bunch of aspects. So we're kinda go through this entire blog post, and I gotta say, Blizz must have a really good opinion of their community if they think many players would actually sit through all of this text, but we're gonna try to approach this as a TLDR kind of thing. First off, MMR and matchmaking, we got queue time versus match quality. Now the gist of it is kinda like this: if your queue time is super short and it pops very fast, that means it's a balanced match. It means that the system managed to find equally skilled players on your team and on the opposing team, and it should be a fairly balanced match. The longer the queue time progresses, the less chances you have at an actual balanced match, because the system simply cannot find balanced players to put them together, and they're extending the limits of the skill level, let's call it like that, or MMR, whatever you want to call it. Now what they're saying here is basically they want us to have better quality matches, and they will sacrifice the queue time for it. Meaning what? Meaning we're gonna get longer queues but better quality matches. Apparently this change is brought on by community feedback, so once again they will favor more quality matches over queue time. So we may stand longer in the queue, but we're gonna get better matches, hopefully. Again, this is brought on by player feedback or community feedback. MMR and rank decay. Now this is something that Heroes of the Storm currently does not have. Other MOBAs, other competitive MOBAs, do have a rank decay or a MMR decay system. They plan on introducing this to Heroes of the Storm as well. The specifics aren't really clear at this point, but I gotta say, this is a system that was supposed to be implemented a long time ago. As long as you're calling yourself a competitive MOBA, you gotta have a little bit of rank decay or MMR decay. The gist of it is like this: if you haven't played rank in 2-3 seasons, you don't expect to be placed in Diamond 3 again. There's also another very interesting change, that players that have not played rank before, or haven't played rank for an extended period of time. What is an extended period of time? You're gonna have to ask Blizzard, because they don't want to define that. Can no longer place very high when doing their placement matches. The maximum they're gonna be able to place is Platinum 5. So again, if you're taking a break or you're a new player coming into ranked, you can no longer place higher than Platinum 5, or if you're making a Smurf account, because I still know that kind of a popular thing to do. So there you go. MMR, rank decay, I think it's a wonderful choice to have for this game. I think it should have been in for ages. Performance-based matchmaking is a system they introduced, what was it, later last year, something like that. And it was quite frankly terrible, but they disabled it and they've been working on it, and now they want to reintroduce it. However, performance-based matchmaking will not apply at extremely high levels of play, simply because those guys are so close to one another in skill. There's no huge difference between them, and maybe the differences are caused by specific circumstances, or maybe even a little bit of luck. Who knows? But the point is, the performance-based matchmaking will not apply to super high level of play, Grandmaster something. Again, they don't define any of this, so I can't give you specifics, and if you got plenty of time, go on ahead and read the wall of text. Rank play, placement matches. Oh yes, goody goody. So the idea is basically like this: you're gonna have to do less placement matches the more you play rank. So for example, we have a guy that played 1,000 games during, let's assume he played 1,000 games during the rank season. He's gonna have to do less placement matches when the new season comes, as little as one. Apparently Blizzard believes they don't need placement matches for super active players in the ranked play community and all whatnot. And also another thing, as long as you are active within ranked gameplay, then you have very high chances to be placed exactly where you left off the previous season. So again, an active player will have to do less placement matches, and very high chances he's gonna be placed exactly where he left off in the previous season. So again, this is rewarding active players that play ranked all the time. There you go. However, this does comes with the added benefit, I want to say, of not being able to kind of like reset your position. Let's say you were unlucky, for example, and you had bad placement matches and you got placed in some trash league, I don't know, gold something. Sorry, gold players, I'm sorry. Some players would kind of like stop playing ranked because of the bad placements and wait for the next season, redo their placement matches and maybe get a better position there. So it kinda is like that as well. Interesting change. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, it applies to very active players, and the MMR and rank decay applies to players which are not very active within. Again, we're talking about ranked gameplay here. New and returning player seeding. Yes, we talked about this, the Platinum 5 thing, and hero bans and swaps. Ooh, yes, they're adding a third ban. They are adding a third ban. No hero swaps, but they are adding a third ban. They talked a little bit about here how they are not sure that hero swaps will work for Heroes of the Storm. To be honest, hero swaps, just like MMR Decay, should have been implemented a long time ago as far as I am concerned. Again, this is just my opinion. As for a third ban, sure, the roster now is plenty big, I agree, but I believe that the developers are simply giving themselves a little bit of more headway when it comes to releasing new heroes, so they could just be banned out in case they're horribly broken. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. I don't necessarily have to be correct, but still, a third ban? Really? I don't think that's necessary at all, and I think it will increase queue times. Hero swaps would increase queue times as well, probably by a little bit. But still, I think that would be a beneficial change to Heroes of the Storm. So no hero swaps. So come on, Blizzard, it's just hero swaps. Look at your competition, they already have it, for crying out loud. It only you add a couple of seconds. And if it doesn't work the way you think it would, you can always take it out later. At least for Team League, we should have hero swaps. Why the hell not? I think they're just overthinking this whole hero swaps thing. New hero balance. Now in this section right here, they went on to talk about how broken Maiev and Phoenix were on launch. Now, as a side note, completely subjective point of view, I enjoy a broken hero when it comes out. I simply play Heroes of the Storm for the fun element, and for me that is fun, and I'm sure there are a few players out there, gotta be, that enjoy that as well. But from a competitive standpoint, releasing a broken hero is a bad thing. Not only from the competitive standpoint, but also from a consumer standpoint, because what you're essentially saying is, if you don't have this, you can't be as competitive as you can be, and that's not a good thing. That's what League of Legends did a few years back, and I always hated them for it, although perhaps hate is a strong word. In any case, what they're saying here is that they need a good chunk of data on a specific hero in order to balance her properly, and that makes sense. How are you supposed to balance? After your internal development team or testing team? We all know how that one turns out, so let's not talk about it. Now, they are trying to avoid really fast changes to brand new heroes when they come out. Maybe PTR testing doesn't really provide enough info to go on, and historically speaking, Blizzard didn't make a lot of changes from PTR to live when it came to build, so there is that to take into account. But I really want to read you the next part because I want to have a reaction to it. Occasionally we'll release a balance update for a new hero outside of this time frame, and they're referring to the 2 weeks balance patches, as we recently did with Maiev and Zarya when further back. Now they released a really quick balance patch for Maiev exclusively, almost because she was, and I quote, broken as fuck. This isn't ideal, and it doesn't give the community enough time to actually explore the character's strengths and weaknesses aside from initial gut reactions. I'm not sure if I should feel offended or not, or everybody else, but Blizz, where I'm from, we have a pretty simple saying: if somebody tells you you're drunk, you can have your doubts. If everybody tells you you're drunk, then you should go to bed. Moving on. It also means we have to make these decisions with very little data and live play experience. Our goals are to avoid knee-jerk reactions, to give players enough time to learn new heroes, and to gather data before we make any balance adjustments. Very well, it's a reasonable request. We need the data in order to do something. You can't do something if you don't have the data, because you risk doing something really bad. Okay, let's imagine this for a second. You release a broken ass hero, okay, as often is the case. After which you release a patch thinking that you know what you're doing after, I don't know, a couple of days when you only have 1,000 games, 2,000, 10,000 games with that hero, and you make it even worse without wanting to. How would we look at that? The community doesn't forgive and it doesn't forget, trust me, I know. New heroes in rank. Now, there was some community feedback regarding new heroes that they should be banned out of rank for the first couple of weeks of their release. This is a smart idea. this is definitely a smart idea. Okay, you're releasing a new hero. Release it as broken as you want. Forget about balance. Forget about everything. And just not use that hero in ranked, okay? He cannot be selected for ranked play until we get our shit, until we balance everything nicely. That sounds like a very smart idea, but they're making the argument here that they need that ranked data. Again, it's the argument of the data. You can't exactly trust quick match or unranked draft now, can you? Or brawls or some other crap like that. So I think they do have a point. You cannot not put them into ranked. Though it would fix everything quite neatly, wouldn't it? Toxicity and reporting, ramping up actions. Now, many of you have complained, myself included, that there are not enough harsh punishments against leavers, FKers, trolls, everybody, basically. What essentially happens in Heroes of the Storm right now is you get silence, and the silence will not let you play ranked. Which, to be honest, is quite an elegant solution when you think about it. But they want to ramp up these punishments, okay? They want to get the suspensions and or bans if people continually are being toxic, okay? So, God willing, because we've been complaining about this for quite some time. And also, they want to make it more visible, okay? More visible when somebody is being punished. Repeated offender penalties, okay? We talked about that. They get the suspensions and all whatnot, but another thing they talked about, instead of humanizing the process more, they're making more automatic, okay? So we know that the system can be abused. I believe it was Kendrick, an awesome Heroes of the Storm content creator, streamer, that was actually silenced for no actual reason. Somebody abused the system and Kendrick got silenced. He immediately launched a ticket to Blizzard and was unsilenced. I saw that live on his stream. I was rather surprised. So yes, the system can be abused, but it also can be corrected fairly quickly. So there's that to take into account. I'm not sure I'm okay with them making the system more automated than it already is. I was hoping for a more humanized approach, but then again, I don't believe that exactly doable. How many people would you have to have looking at reports all the time? Like a what? 100 people? 1,000 people? Can you imagine the cost in that? And I don't think it's warranted. I just hope they do a really good job with this brand new automated system that will be coming out in the near future, so it cannot be abused. Can you imagine the backlash if people start getting banned or suspended for no real reason? I'm afraid of automated systems, okay? I'm simply afraid of automated systems because I know I haven't met one that wasn't abusable. So there's that. I'm worried, but I'm happy they're trying to improve things. Repeated offender penalties we talked about. Non-participating and intentionally dying. The long story short, they are working on a forgiveness. I'm sorry. On a loss forgive system. So what they want to do is, if you lost a game because a player went AFK, okay, they're trying to forgive that loss, okay? So you won't lose any rank points, but the leaver will, okay? The leaver will get penalized, he will lose rank points, but you won't because it wasn't your fault, because the guy had to go feed his cat or whatever else, or just got angry and left. Because let's be realistic here, there's a lot of that happening in Heroes of the Storm, so they want to not penalize you for losing a game because of these conditions, and penalize the leaver. That sounds blindingly obvious. I mean, this should have been in a while back, but yeah. Communication. Now they're still not forcing us to communicate, thank God, and don't give me that look. I managed to get the Grandmaster without communicating at all and keeping my chat off, and it was fine. I'm an advocate for less communication is good communication in a MOBA. Are you playing a game, or what exactly are you doing? I don't believe that chatting is necessary in a MOBA. I don't believe that voice chat is necessary in a MOBA, and a player can get the best results and reach the highest levels without necessarily doing it. As long as it's not Team League. If it's Team League, by all means. I'm talking simply about Hero League. Anyway, there's one important note here. In the meantime, we're going to increase visibility for the suspension and ban waves we issue by bolstering our broader communications. This is something we've done sporadically in the past, and we'll be moving to a more consistent cadence going forward. Now, what they're saying throughout this entire section is basically, hey, we've been doing things, stop saying we haven't been doing things, because we've been doing... So they have been doing things, and they're gonna do even more things. And as a final footnote, there's gonna be an AMA over on Reddit April the 13th, starting at 10 AM PDT. So if you guys got time to kill and want to talk to the devs or try to ask them something, then by all means join the AMA. I encourage you to do that, blah blah blah, nice guy. Right, let's talk about a bit more, let's kind of summarize. I kept a TLDR format for this video simply because I didn't want to bore everybody, and a lot of this blog post is them being nice and adding introductions, and we are trying to do the best thing over here. Yes, I get it. It's very nice, but it would be good if we can shorten this so more people would actually read it. Let's talk about a couple of things. Performance-based matchmaking. I am happy that the system is being brought back. Hopefully it will work a whole lot better. It's been continually working in the background, gathering data. Okay, so even though you didn't get any changes in your MMR, depending on if you won or lost, the data has still been gathering, so the system apparently is now ready to be put into effect. And it's not gonna affect players at high level of play. I don't know if they will mind or not, to be honest. I think that's a smart choice because, again, where the air is so thin, let's say it like that, there's not a lot of difference between players, at least not as much as is at mid or lower levels of play. MMR and rank decay, like I said before, this should have been a Heroes of the Storm a while back. I am super happy they are introducing this. The Platinum 5 thing is kind of gonna hurt some people. I don't plan on playing rank anytime soon, but being able to place only at the top placement will be Platinum 5 if you haven't played rank for a while, or if you're a new player coming into Heroes of the Storm. Wait a second, I didn't think about this. Isn't that a little bit discouraging for new players to jump into ranked? Is it? Are you a new player? Are you discouraged by this? Let me know in the comment section down below if that is the case. I honestly have no clue, but I never thought about it like this, at least. Let's see, placement matches. Less placement matches. Less placement matches if you're an active member in ranked gameplay. I don't know how to feel about this one. Less wasted time for active players, but then again, if they're so active, would they really mind doing more placement matches? Not really sure how to feel about this, but being left off exactly where you were the season before, I do like that idea a lot. Let's see what else. Hero bans and swaps. Why no swaps? Oh, come on. I honestly think they're overthinking this too much. We should have swaps, at least for Team League is blindingly obvious. If not for Hero League 5, you're afraid that players will start fighting with each other. My hero, your hero. That's perfectly fine, but what about Team League? You should have it at least there. Third ban, I don't know about. I think that's just the developer being comfy, sorry. Again, but I don't think the third ban is really necessary. It's weird to see. It's gonna be weird to see a third ban. It'll probably increase the queue time a little bit, even though Blizzard argues the contrary. I guess we'll see. New hero balance, yes, it's fine. With me, it's totally fine, to be honest. Again, this is a subjective retrospective. For me, a broken ass hero is fun to play, and let's be honest, it doesn't really stay broken for long, and you can always ban it out, and now you'll even have 3 bans. So it's fine, it's no big deal if a hero gets released a little bit broken, but of course, ideally, if it's a choice, from my point of view, if it's a choice between releasing a hero broken as fuck or a little bit weaker, and you know it's a little bit weaker, the smart approach is to release them just a tiny bit weaker. Even though your hero won't be as popular, probably won't sell as good either, it gives you the time to balance him out properly, and it doesn't throw the meta into chaos. From a subjective point of view, give me all the broken heroes you got because I enjoy it. I love going 1v3 and winning with my Ev. Unfortunately, I can't do that anymore. And I don't know if this was the best choice of words. But in any case, toxicity and reporting. Yay, do more. Absolutely. I'm all for ramping up the punishments. Sounds great. I'm a little bit worried about the automated system though. But I love the fact that they are actually taking a stance and doing something about it, because it really looked like they're not doing much of anything, even though apparently they were. The forgiveness system. The forgiveness system sounds like a really good idea, absolutely awesome, and well, that's pretty much it. A lot of good changes, some of them I'm kinda iffy on, but from a casual player's perspective, this definitely sounds good, and it outlines a bigger plus that we must not glance over. The development team is continually improving Heroes of the Storm. They're working hard on making the game better, even though we might not agree on all of the directions they're taking, they're still trying their hardest to make the game better. And you can't exactly ask for more than that. As always, my name is Lazar. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye guys, bye bye.